Test 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Good.
Are we good to go, Chris?
We're good to go, Mike.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Monday, November 9th, 2020. I would like to call to order the regular board meeting of the Othello School District Board of Directors. We will begin tonight's meeting with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We want to welcome all of our guests tonight, those that are on the Zoom call, those that are perhaps watching on YouTube. I want to thank you for joining us again tonight. Once again, the disclosure, hopefully technical difficulties evade us tonight. I think we've been doing okay. Hopefully that sticks tonight. If there is something that goes wrong, we apologize in advance. Moving on, I will entertain a motion for the approval of tonight's agenda. And I would like to make a motion, starting off, to add under F1, the executive session, to also include performance of a public employee.
I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of performance of a public employee to the executive session. It's been seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Talia, do we have any public comment tonight?
No public comment, Mike.
Okay, very good. I would like to remind the public that there is an opportunity. Instructions for public comment are posted with every announcement of the meeting on our social media pages on how to give public comment if you choose to. Moving on to item B2, student representative reports. Elise or Lauren?
Okay, I have a short report. So I have a report from Ludakaga. Let me find it one second. Okay, so I asked them for a report regarding their K-3 coming back to school, and this is what they sent for me to share with you. They said they've been having a great time with their students back, and they're working diligently to keep them 6 feet apart, and all the kids have been doing a really great job wearing their masks and bringing their attestation forms to school. And then this week, they're gonna have a guest visitor via Zoom in one of their first grade classes. And he's gonna share about his military career for Veterans Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Lauren, anything?
Hi, I have something to share as well.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay? Sorry, my Wi-Fi has been spotty today.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So the Leadership Club will start decorating OHS starting Thursday. And of course, we'll be following social distancing and have masks on and all of that. And this afternoon, Mandy Perez and I had the great experience working with Ed Peterson. We interviewed veterans for a Veterans Day video that we'll be sharing this Wednesday. And I'd like to thank Dr. Hurst and Mr. Gail Vasquez for participating and answering all of our questions. Awesome.
Thank you both for your input tonight. Appreciate that you guys are with us on these calls and have been, for the most part, pretty much loyal to attend to these. Thank you guys. Appreciate both of you. Moving on to item B3, board member discussion. Legislative report. Director Stevenson, do you have something for us?
I do. Since our WASDA annual meeting is coming up, I just wanted to check with each board member and see if everyone's planning on, since it's on Zoom this time, is everyone planning on attending at least something?
Yes.
I haven't chosen any courses. I don't know if the schedule's even available yet, to be honest with you, Jen, but I definitely plan on attending.
I haven't picked any courses either, but yes, I'm definitely planning on attending.
Jen, where do we find the courses?
So they haven't put the courses out yet that I've seen, because I get often updates from them. I just want to make sure that that we're all planning on. There is, I don't know if you guys get the emails from WASDA. There's one that's called Elections, a Special Report and Proclamation. So we do have an area meeting in it, and we're part of Area 11 that we can attend. And then there's also, let's see. There's some special onboard sessions, deciphering district budgets. And these ones need to be pre-signed up for. And they're like the pre-trainings. And so if you take that one, then you can take the other ones called Tackling Financial Soundness and Vision Aligned Budgeting. But deciphering district budgets are prerequisites to those other two. And so that's coming up soon. And so all of those are free just because we're members of WASDA and we pay our annual dues. And so definitely sound like interesting, but even if 3 of us are planning on taking one, then we need to announce that we're going to be at a training and that it's technically an open public meeting, even though the public is not invited, so we don't violate OPMA laws. We need to announce that we're attending those trainings, even though it's not open to the public, so that we're making sure we get all of our things, that we check all of our boxes and everything, that we're not violating anything. It sounds like there's going to be some great although distantly. I think it might be interesting, depending upon what happens after today, if the governor extends the OPMA current rules, we could potentially do annual conference together, like in the same space, at least if he does not keep extending the current executive order. All 5 of us could be in the same room, even though we're all on separate Zooms. One of the great things about going to conference, I feel like, is the camaraderie amongst ourselves and being able to share the great things that we've learned and throw ideas back and forth with each other. And then that kind of networking both amongst ourselves and with other board members throughout the state. So everything is, if we actually did that, that hinged on whether the governor extends or not. So, because today's the last day of the current executive order for the OPMA that he keeps modifying. So, Ken, you didn't respond. Are you planning on attending part?
At this time, I'm uncertain. When some of those different classes come more available, I'll take a look and see what I could do about clearing my schedule for particular ones.
Right, I understand it's a very different time and a very different way to have done this. So because it's next week. So we will definitely need to notify the public that we will be participating, at least a quorum, and then kind of go from there. So, and then some information about our local votes. 67% of those that are locally registered, I mean, within our county, when I say locally, voted this time. And so I think that that's, you know, a good turnout. I should have taken the time to notify Heidi Hunt and ask the question, what is that compared to past numbers? What is that compared to past presidential elections? I'll see if I can get that information for next time. And some things that we rejected locally, but the state approved, or different things like that. They have 5,170 county votes that have been turned in, currently counted. They estimated another possible 400 to count, and that is of Friday at 3:46 is when that took place. And then I'll later on in the agenda, there's another thing that I'll discuss a little bit more about that voting for. So that's all I have for the current legislative report.
Very good. Thank you, Jen. I want to remind ourselves to keep ourselves accountable and continue filling out our board self-assessments. We have committed to doing this. I noticed that we are lacking. So please, I beseech you all to let's make a concerted effort to fill out the board self-assessment of our meetings. Is there any input on, I know we were just going to keep facilities discussion in here as an ongoing theme. Anybody have anything they want to discuss, talk about? If not, that's fine. We made a decision to have that on there if something came up. Just don't know, probably not right now that anything's come up. All right, moving on to item C1, required approvals. I will entertain a motion for the approval of tonight's required approvals.
I have a couple of AP questions before we get to motions. Overdrive education for $8,000. What is that for?
Jen, that's for digital reading materials for the classroom.
Okay.
Okay.
And teachers curriculum for $25,000. I assume a curriculum, but what grades and subjects?
It is. Again, it's elementary, and it's a social studies curriculum, and it has an online component for greater student interaction.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Becky. Those are the specifics that I had this round.
I'm sorry, I missed it, what you said.
Thank you. Great.
Oh, you're welcome.
With that, Mike, I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to approve required approvals. It's been seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I will now entertain a motion to approve November 2020 early account payable warrants number 2.
I move we approve C2 early accounts payable warrants 2.
We have a motion by Director Stevenson, seconded by Director Schutte. Any further discussion?
I will be abstaining from this vote.
Very good. All in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 4-0 with 1 abstention. Moving on to item C3, superintendent informational items. Don't know if we have any questions for Chris on the DOP that is before us, or Chris, if you have anything you want to say about that.
I just wanted to add something. This is just an update, just a few items we needed to update, but I thought it would be appropriate just to share with the board about Senate Bill 5395, because it really ties into this process of reviewing curriculum. And as we probably already know, the legislators here in Washington approved this bill, or it was approved, and it goes into effect December the 3rd. It requires all schools across Washington to provide comprehensive sexual health education by the 2022-2023 school year. The key that I really want to reiterate to the board is implementation doesn't have to go into effect until 2022-2023, so it's a few years off. I also wanted to let the board and the public know that I've been communicating with Amy Paris. Amy has been working with Pete and the teaching and learning team to really gather together the district's curriculum committee. And what we do in that committee is we review all curriculum. And our intent is to make sure that we have a lot of community input and a lot of parent input, student input. We have a lot of time. So I know when Amy communicated to me, that was something that she was really pushing and making sure that she wanted me to reinforce that there will be plenty of time to get parent and community input in this process. And again, I just want to reiterate to the board and to the public, we have time to get this committee, to get the committee together and all the input from the community as well. But also I wanted to share with you, we want to make sure that we listen to the community, but we also want to make sure that we're in compliance with law, and we believe we can do that by just pulling everyone together to make this happen. So just wanted to share that with everyone.
So do you have a time, even though it doesn't have to have implementation until the 2022-23 school year, and you referred to it as the Senate and the legislative bill, but I think most of us know it as the R90, even though it's the same thing. And do you have like a timeline that you're thinking of, like a year from now, fall of next year, or do we have a timeline even?
Speaking with Amy, she is interested in getting the committee together right away. She wants to be able to meet in person, of course. So we're looking at some options. We just believe that would be best. We do have some suggestions, but just to kind of answer your question, we're looking to get together the committee that is comprised of students, parents, staff, and community members together right away. I'll get with Pete and with Amy to see if we can get a timeline to you that's more specific. But the only thing I can share with you right now, Jen, is we're wanting to start the process right away.
Okay. If someone wanted to be on that committee and they know that right now, what do they do?
They could email Amy Paris.
So AARRIS, is it 2 R's?
2 R's.
At othelloschools.org.
Yes.
Okay, just to confirm. So I had said I wanted to share something a little bit later on. The state approved this R90 by 58%, but our local county rejected it by 70%. I just thought that those were interesting numbers to share. But thank you for being on it and wanting to put that committee together, because I know that it's a hot topic, and I know that there were quite a few that wanted to have some input into the curriculum. So thank you for being aware of that and ready to put a committee together. And I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, if anything, I just piggyback on what Jen is mentioning, Chris, and making sure that the community has an opportunity to be a part of this. Being the subject that it is, I know maybe perhaps too many people will want to be on this committee. So we'll have to be diligent in getting these folks that represent a lot of folks. I mean, I don't know how to put that, folks that are involved with other people that can be their voice, because I've had several phone calls pertinent to the subject, and it's great that you're bringing this out tonight. That's something a committee will be formed to tackle this. So thank you for that.
Yes, sir. I think that, like I said, there's plenty of time. So I know Amy is certainly interested in getting a lot of feedback from community members. So I think she'll structure it in that way.
Yeah. And I know this is just a thought, maybe not even feasible, but when we're allowed to gather, even perhaps a community forum with this subject might be merited, and get people the opportunity to be involved if they're not going to be part of this committee, because there's maybe too many. Just food for thought there.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, moving on to item D1, assurance of organizational performance. We have a couple of monitoring reports, EL10 and EL13. I will entertain a motion for their acceptance.
I will make the motion to accept.
EL 10 and 13.
I think we lost Ken.
I think he's waiting for the screen to get up.
I've got a screen. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I was making the motion to accept both ELs, I think, when I got cut off.
All right, there's been a motion made to approve the monitoring reports for EL10 and EL13. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to item E1. There's several items there that are up for review. I believe tonight I will need a motion to approve EL7 with as a final reading with the verbiage, the change that was made. Last when I looked at this, I didn't see any other changes made. So as we go through these, if you think there's something that you want to change, I think we need to let Talia know. Otherwise, these will be at the next meeting for a final reading.
No, EL 8, 9, GP 1, 2, and 3, and then all the other schedules and assessments that go with that are just automatically in here because we evaluated those at the last month. And so because we're not, unless someone wants to modify them, they're going to just then drop off. We always GP 7.1 in there because that agenda is constantly changing.
Very good, very good.
But I move that we approve EL7 final reading.
There's been a motion to approve EL7 final reading by Director Stevenson. Can I get a second?
I second.
Seconded by Director Prowse. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, that brings us to item F1, executive session. The Board of Directors of Directors will go into executive session for 30 minutes to consider the selection of a site or the acquisition of real estate by lease or purchase, and to review the performance of a public employee. No action will be taken following the executive session. So thank you, everyone who's been with us tonight. We appreciate you all. We will now go into a short recess and go into the executive session for 30 minutes. Thank you very much.